Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6. I'm Kadisha Dees. We're keeping our eye on the sky ahead of some very cold temps coming into the Tennessee Valley tomorrow. That's what's expected. But before we can even get into the forecast, take a look at the sky above. Gloomy sky, rain, chilly, yes. All the ingredients for a gloomy kind of day. I'm joined now by Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Jordan, are we going to have to bundle up in the coming days? Maybe even a little snow?
Yeah, I wish we were going to end up talking about a little bit of snow. I always actually like it when it snows across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. It sticks around just long enough to look pretty, and then it goes away. So we never have to look at any ugly snow. We're not going to be talking about any snow this time around. We are, however, still talking about a little bit of rain. Now, most of us are dry this evening. Locations west of the I-65 corridor, nice and dry. Those across northeast Alabama, however, still talking about a little bit of liquid precipitation. At this point, south of Scottsboro, just to the north of Fort Payne, back into Gunnersville, north of Albertville, those folks talking about a little bit of rain. Whatever rain was hanging out across southern Madison County has since moved out of there. Maybe we're still talking about a couple of light showers across Coleman County. In general, all of this activity is relatively light, more of an annoyance than it is anything else. And again, we're not going to be talking about any snow. There was a chance that maybe some of this precipitation would change over into a little bit of light snow, but that was if and only if the cold air moved in fast enough. We're still sitting in the 40s over in northeast Alabama, and that is obviously not cold enough for any snow. But we are going to get incredibly cold late tonight and then through the day on Thursday. We'll talk about that in just a bit.
Thank you, Jordan. Residents at an apartment complex in Madison have been dealing with a major problem. They don't have water, and frustration is hitting a fever pitch. Residents at the Sutton Apartments have had no water for about a week. Madison Utilities says the shutdown is due to complex owners not paying the water bill. Residents tell us it takes about 4 gallons of water to just flush the toilet, and they're forced to use bottled water to cook and clean. One mother says her son does at-home kidney dialysis on top of a lack of water.
Even when he's supposed to hook his machine up, we're supposed to turn off the air and turn off the heat so that particles can't fly through the air and get him infected. But we don't even have water. Before he puts the tubes and hooks up, he's supposed to wipe off his desk with bleach and water because everything has to be sterilized. Yet we have no water to do that.
Very challenging situation there. City officials confirm Legal Services Alabama is hosting a town hall meeting right now for residents weighing their options. We have reached out to property managers and are awaiting responses. A Huntsville man has been arrested on 4 counts of possession of child pornography. Police say the investigation began after a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Officers identified Aaron Sims, pictured here, and executed a search warrant at his home on Creeley Drive yesterday. Police seized additional evidence that will undergo forensic examination. Sims is held in Madison County Jail on an $80,000 bond. Attorneys for former Lauderdale County Judge Gil Self have filed a motion seeking to have his 12-year prison sentence overturned. Self was convicted of using public funds for personal expenses and repaid. His lawyers argue the sentence is, quote, unconstitutionally harsh. A hearing on the motion and a previously filed new trial request is scheduled for next Tuesday. We've learned a judge has denied a bond reduction request from a man accused of making terrorist threats against Deschler High School. A Colbert County judge ruled prosecutors showed probable cause that Robert Bowman committed the crime. His bond remains at $10,000 as ordered in November. Bowman will continue to be held at the Limestone County Jail on the terrorist charge and a separate probation violation. L3 Harris Technologies is expanding missile production through a new partnership with the Department of War. The DoW plans to invest $1 billion into the company's missile solutions business to boost production of solid rocket motors used in U.S. and allied missile systems. The company says Huntsville plays a key role in its growth, noting its local workforce has grown by about 60% over the last 5 years, supported by its AMF South manufacturing facility right here in the Rocket City. Governor Kay Ivey's State of the State address last night tackled several issues, but a major topic, especially here in North Alabama, is education. That's part of the reason why she's promising a 2% pay raise for Alabama's teachers. Teachers, often considered underpaid for the work they do, making between $47,000 and $60,000 per year for up to 20 years of service. Fox 54's Kila Paguayo shows us what this increase would mean for educators.
Our teachers are certainly key to our success. So I'm excited to announce that budget includes another 2% pay increase for these teachers preparing our next generations.
Governor Ivey has given raises to teachers totaling thousands of dollars since she took office in 2017. But this upcoming budget for the 2027 fiscal year will have the largest education trust fund proposal in state history, bringing more money to the state's CHOOSE Act and other policies passed in recent years. Ivey called the proposals, quote, conservatively budgeted, adding these increases to education funding have led to measurable increases in students' math and reading scores. Governor Ivey said in a statement, quote, education will continue to be my #1 priority over these next 12 months. Dr. Allison King with the Alabama Education Association says the raise is helpful, but it doesn't quite keep up with rising costs.
Even if the buying power is not quite keeping up where it needs to be with those dollars due to inflationary concerns, those are absolutely outside of her control. And so we very much appreciate all that she's done to champion for education.
In addition to teacher salary raises and CHOOSE Act increases, Governor Ivey also proposed an additional $50 million towards security in K-12 schools and continued funding for the Turnaround Schools initiative. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
Four astronauts return home early from the International Space Station after a crew member experienced health issues. The astronaut is stable, but mission managers approved the crew's early return. NASA has not disclosed who or the nature of the medical concern. The SpaceX Dragon capsule is set to make splashdown off California early tomorrow morning. Jared Isaacman visited the Marshall Space Flight Center for the first time as the head of NASA today, according to NASA's Deputy Press Secretary, George Alderman. Officials say during his visit, he met with center leadership and spoke with members of the Flight Center. Pretty cool. Well, Isaacman, a Space Camp Hall of Fame inductee, recently donated an L-39 Albatross jet to Space Camp. He also pledged his full salary as administrator to support the camp. This visit is a part of a series of visits to NASA centers across the country. We've got a couple Fox 54 traffic impact alerts for you tonight. Tomorrow, Huntsville Utilities will have crews working on Holmes Avenue and Woodson Street from 8 a.m. to 2 in the afternoon. That work was originally scheduled for Monday. If you drive through these areas, be prepared for some delays and take alternate routes if possible. In Decatur, parts of Duncansby Drive and Carrington Drive are now closed for construction work. You won't be able to drive through Carrington Drive between Raleigh Street and Galahad Drive or Duncansby Drive between Providence Drive and Whiteford Drive for the next several weeks. If you live in the area, don't worry, you'll still have access to your home. Officials are asking you to slow down, watch for work crews, and use caution in the work zone. For more Fox 54 traffic impact alerts, go to fox54.com.
There are these online products that are similar.
We're talking about weight loss drugs. This Wellness Wednesday, doctors recommend the do's and don'ts before you take that step. Havoc takes over Huntsville Hospital to visit some very tiny patients. We'll take you there.
Now, Wellness Wednesday on Fox 54 News, sponsored by Regenesis.
Weight loss medications such as GLP-1s and other similar medications are rapidly gaining popularity, especially with President Trump's recent pharmaceutical deals to cut prices. But who should actually be using these medications? Dr. Charles Lee with Regenesis says that most patients can take the medication, but there is one caveat you should be aware of.
Typically, I'm just looking for somebody that needs to lose weight. I mean, too many patients that are not candidates. The contraindication is somebody that's had thyroid issues, family history of thyroid or thyroid cancer or something of that nature. Thyroid cancer, if you should develop a nodule or you need to be checked. It's a potential complication of it. It's very rare, but still is potential. Important
information if you're looking to start using a GLP-1 or a similar medication. Dr. Lee says you should consult a medical provider first.
Get a baseline. Body composition is important. You need to have that conversation with the physician. You need to have the diet conversation. And it's important to be managed. There are these online products that are similar, but they're supposedly for laboratory use only. And some patients try to do this on their own. It's not a great idea because you get your doses wrong. Plus those medications, who knows what else is in it.
If you want to hear more from Dr. Lee, you can on Fox 54 Plus. Ask the Experts is available on demand. Download on your TV, watch for free. A very special visit from Huntsville Havoc for some very special tiny patients in the NICU. We have a look and a listen. In Jordan, nothing but rain, and I hear flurries are coming.
Yeah, still talking about a little bit of rain this evening across the Tennessee Valley, but what about that chance for a few flurries over the next couple of hours? We'll discuss it in just a few minutes.
Lake Guntersville is about to become the center of professional bass fishing for the next 4 days. The 2026 Bass Pro Tour season kicks off tomorrow morning at Lake Guntersville, bringing 51 of the world's best anglers to North Alabama to compete for a top prize of a whopping $125,000. But the competitors aren't the only ones looking to reel in money. Hotels, restaurants, and gas stations will see a huge increase in business over the next few days. MLF's communications director, Joe Oppinger, says they expect to draw fans from across the country.
We've got 51 guys on the water competing this week, and each one of those guys have brought their families along. We've got the MLF staff. We expect to see a couple thousand fans come through this weekend, and it's always a really big deal when the Bass Pro Tour comes to town.
But with more boats on the water comes a heightened focus on safety, as you can see right here. You may recall professional angler Flint Davis facing manslaughter charges after a collision that killed 3 people during an MLF competition last April. Obinger says the organization is taking the safety of everyone in the water seriously.
Throughout the event, anglers are required to wear a life jacket anytime that they've got their big outboard motor fired up. And so, it's something that we really take seriously and stress to these guys is safety on the water.
Safety is first. Before the first cast is even thrown, pros spent their Wednesday at Cherokee Elementary School. They traded tournament pressure for casting lessons, teaching 5th graders about conservation and career paths in the outdoors. The anglers taught 5th grade students about conservation and careers in the fishing industry. Students got a lesson in the tour's catch, weigh, release practices. The highlight for many students was the casting challenge. The children cheered as the anglers competed against each other to see who could cast a line the best. The first one to do it 3 times won. One pro says speaking to the children was rewarding.
I was a young guy and somebody taught me about fishing, so I always think it's a good opportunity for me to go meet with some young people and just try to share some of the passion that I have for fishing with them.
Very cool. Students also participated in a Q&A with the anglers. Some students also received a t-shirt, hat, and even a fishing rod.
Now, the Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the Fox 54 Weather Impact Team.
Today's certainly the day to be indoors, because if you could take a look for yourself, cloudy skies, we had some rain and it was chilly, so not the best day to do any outdoor activity, really.
No, the fact that I had to get in my car today was a nuisance in of itself, just because it is so amazingly gross outside.
It is not one of my faves, but we persevere.
I wouldn't even put it in the top 5, but you're right, we persevere and persevere we will. Right as we head into your Thursday, where arguably the weather is going to be worse on Thursday compared to what we had today. I suppose it's all relative. Rainfall totals somewhat negligible through the course of the afternoon. These are rainfall totals over the last 12 hours. We've all picked up less than 1/4 of an inch of precipitation. Some of us are still talking about a little bit of rain this evening. West of the I-65 corridor, though, it does look like we are dry. Our rain is going to be focused this evening still across northeast Alabama, but it's getting its way on out of here. It's not going to stick around too much longer. Beginning to see a little bit of rain build into Fort Payne, build out of Gunnersville and into Albertville. We're dry at this point in Jackson County, Madison County, Morgan County, Coleman County. We're dry. So really, it's just DeKalb and Marshall counties, really the only locations that at this point are talking about just a little bit of light rain. And rain is exactly what we're going to continue to focus on for the next 15 or 20 minutes. Zoom things out, look at the southeast as a whole. I kind of wanted to focus on the colder air that's going to build into the Tennessee Valley, but not necessarily into North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. I kind of thought this was interesting. A cold weather advisory is in place for South Alabama, and then we're actually talking about a freeze watch for different portions of South Alabama, much of the Florida Panhandle, South Georgia, down into Central Florida. As a matter of fact, we are talking about a freeze watch. Even in Florida, it's going to be cold tonight. Maybe even in South Florida, the lizards will start falling out of the trees. Look regionally at forecast low temperatures as we head into the overnight. A forecasted low of 27 in Montgomery, down in Mobile. A forecasted low of 31 degrees. New Orleans going to drop into the upper 30s. Tallahassee going to drop into the upper 30s. Got a forecasted low there of 38 degrees. Back home across the Tennessee Valley, we are going to be so much colder. We'll get to that in just a second. Currently, we find ourselves sitting in the lower 40s, mid 40s back across northeast Alabama, 44 in Scottsboro, 45 in Albertville. That's important because it is way too warm to support any of that rain transitioning over to a little bit of snow. So that's not going to happen. Sky clears as we head into the overnight. Temperatures drop into the lower 20s. I have got a low temperature right around 23 degrees. Incredibly cold tonight. And we're going to stick with the cold nights for the next several nights. 25 on Friday, 31 Saturday morning, and then kind of consistently holding on to low temperatures in the 20s Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. At this point, your heater's not getting a break anytime too soon. Can't even count on a break through the course of the afternoon. Look at this. Forecast high temperatures as we head into Thursday afternoon, climbing into the mid 30s. But with a steady breeze across the Tennessee Valley, it is going to feel like it is in the upper 20s and lower 30s. We are going to see some improvement as we head into your Friday. Have a good look at the next 7 days. 37 Thursday, 50 degrees on Friday. So Thursday is just kind of a brief lapse in judgment on part of Mother Nature. We rebound very quickly on Friday. Small chance of rain as we head into Friday afternoon and Friday evening. Just 42 degrees on Saturday, 33 degrees on Sunday. Plenty of sunshine on Sunday, though cold. 41 on Monday, 38 on Tuesday, 48 degrees by the time we get to next Wednesday. The average high temperature this time of year at around 52 or 53.
Thank you, Jordan. This afternoon, Huntsville Women and Children's Hospital, the Huntsville Havoc, making an important annual visit to the neonatal intensive care unit. The visit is part of the team's annual Melissa George Night, hosted by Melissa's parents, Amy and Chris. Their daughter, Melissa, died just hours after her premature birth in 2004. Chris spoke with Fox 54 about what the visit and the funds raised by the fans over the past 20 years means to him.
To see us surpass the $1 million age, it's a testament to the Huntsville Havoc fans, the Huntsville hockey community, North Alabama's hockey community, that they have, they've bought into Melissa's fund. I think they all believe in the mission and what we're trying to accomplish here, and that's just getting babies home to mom and dad and giving these doctors and these nurses in this unit the best technology available to make that happen.
And for Havoc captain Dominic Procopio, this is his 5th Melissa George Night. He tells Fox 54 this visit gives players more fuel for Saturday's big game.
The special things that go down here at the NICU, I think it's really easy to get up for a game of the magnitude of Melissa George Night. If you don't come here and kind of see all the effort and all the special people it takes to take care of the babies, and it can get lost. So I think being here really kind of puts a face to a name, essentially, for all the guys, and makes us want to play that much harder.
Yeah, and the money will be raised for the Melissa George Fund at the Havoc game through an auction for the jersey. Players will be wearing pucks, mini helmets. You can attend the game this Saturday at the VBC. And we know the puck drop is at 7. But Carson, I will say, I just love when professional sports teams give back in such a monumental way. And this is a big way of giving back.
Yeah, and I mean, you heard when Chris was talking about it, especially, and as a local, I know the story, but, there's many who are coming to the Tennessee Valley and learning the Melissa George story. And it's so cool, with over $1 million raised over these past 19 games, coming into the 20th. It's so cool just to see the expansion and the work that's been done at the NICU unit at Huntsville Hospital.
Gosh, 20 is a big year.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about that with Chris, and it's like, you never see that in minor league sports, even for charities. It's like, to see this sustain for 20 years, that's just huge. It's a unique scenario for everyone.
Very unique. And have you ever been to one of the games yourself?
Oh, of course. I'm a giant Havoc fan, so I've been to many, many of these games. I've always wanted to try and bid on a jersey, but trust me, folks in Huntsville, they have a big heart when it comes to donating for these jerseys.
All right. Thank you, Carson. I happen to catch one of these games these days. All right. We'll stay with sports. Mo, what's happening?
Well, Alabama's first ever Heisman Trophy winner, he's going into the College Football Hall of Fame. More and more Kingram next.
Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
And good evening, everyone. Last month, Nick Saban represented the University of Alabama well with his induction into the College Football Hall of Fame. Well, this fall, the guy who helped Coach Saban win his first natty in T-Town will join him. Today, the Nashville Football Foundation announcing that Mark Ingram will be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. During his 3 seasons on the capstone, Ingram rushed for more than 3,300 yards and scored 42 touchdowns, including 17 in 2009. That season, Mark Ingram won the Heisman Trophy while leading Alabama to an undefeated regular season, an SEC football championship, and a win in the BCS national title game. He went on to play 12 seasons in the National Football League, 10 in the Crescent City with the New Orleans Saints. As we mentioned, Mark Ingram leading his team to a natty after winning the Heisman Trophy. Fernando Mendoza, he'll look to do the same as Indiana takes on Miami for the CFP National Championship. Kickoff on Monday night is set for 6:30 p.m. See it live on ESPN. Auburn fans across the state, you'll get a chance to see your new football coach in one of 3 opportunities, including one right here in the Rocket City. Alice Golich headlining the Launch 2026 tour, which will make stops in Daphne, Birmingham, and of course, Huntsville. The Space and Rocket Center will host the event on Wednesday, February the 25th. For ticket information, just head over to the sports page on our website, FOX54.com. And speaking of the Auburn Tigers, they just tipped off in a battle against the Missouri Tigers over in Columbia, Missouri, over on ESPN2. So if you want to check that out, just wait to the end of this newscast and then head over there to watch that basketball action. Now, coming up tonight in sports at 9 p.m., we'll have highlights of that game, and we'll also have a preview of the Bridge Builder Classic between Alabama A&M and Alabama State. Kanisha.
Thank you, Mo. Tenants at an apartment complex in Madison have gone a week without water, and they're fed up. Fox 54's Gabe Glassman takes us to the Sutton Apartments to hear from residents on the outage. 4 astronauts return early from the International Space Station after medical emergency on board. We'll tell you all about the undocking and tomorrow's splashdown. And Governor Kay Ivey calls a 2% pay raise for public school teachers. What it could mean for our schools tonight at 9. Before we let you go, want to be in a Super Bowl commercial? Here's your chance. Skittles holding a contest that will result in a live and from the winner's house during the big game. The lucky homeowner will have Skittles delivered by movie star Elijah Wood. For more information and to enter the contest, go to followtherainbow.com. A potential winner will be notified on or around January 21st, past January 1st, 21st. But a live, from what I'm reading, I understand a live Super Bowl skit for Skittles.
Somehow, some way, they're going to do a live, the whole concept of a live commercial, like in the same way we do a live newscast during the biggest sporting event of the year, seems like quite the undertaking. So first and foremost, props to Skittles. Second, I will be entering.
Oh, are you?
I am very proud of my abilities to throw a Super Bowl soiree. And 2, I tend to enjoy Skittles. So I feel like that should put me maybe in the top 1,000,000 of people that are entering.
All right.
Risky.
Are you 2 not going to enter said competition?
I mean, I might as well go ahead and look it up. But I mean, looks like the winner will be announced on January 21st. So we ain't got that much longer left.